afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming to the second debate of this year's Mount Clemens High School Hispanic Heritage Month Student Debate Series. My name is Don Williams, and I will be your debate moderator today. The topic for today's debate: would increasing legal immigration reduce illegal immigration? Today's students debaters represent Ms. Lewis's pre-calculus class. We have two teams: the yes team, which is located to my right, and the no team, which is located to my left. Please give both teams a round of applause for working hard to prepare for this debate. Clap it up for them, everybody. Okay, now we will start. The yes team will now give their opening statement.
Hello, I'm Ashley. Okay. What would you do if you were an illegal immigrant? To live your life in constant fear of being taken away from your family, your friends, way of education, only home, and possibly well-paying job. Illegal immigrants are taken away at any moment in any situation if they are found out. Increasing legal immigration will decrease illegal immigration. According to FAIR, the Federal for American Immigration Reform website, as of 2017, the number of illegal immigrants in the U.S. is approximately 12.5 million. 12.5 million. An illegal immigrant is a person who lives in a country they are not legally allowed to. Legal immigrants have papers of proof that shows they are allowed to be where they are. There are several steps to become a legal immigrant, and thousands are turned away each year for various reasons. America limits the amount of immigrants they allow cross their border. Nearly half of the 12 million plus illegal aliens in America arrived illegally with temporary non-immigrant visas. Immigrants who are here for schooling or just being a tourist, they are protected by the non-immigrant law of 2003. A non-immigrant is someone admitted to the U.S. temporarily for a specific purpose, such as weddings, work visas, and other documentations granting them permission to enter the U.S. The DHS estimates a percentage of America's illegal population is made up of visa overstays, from 25 to 57%. Making something that was once illegal more available to be legal would automatically make the illegal aspect of the situation decrease. This goes for immigration as well. If illegal immigrants were offered more of a chance to become legal, then there would automatically be less illegal immigrants. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, the no team will give their opening statements.
Increasing legal immigration will not decrease illegal immigration. A legal immigrant is someone who has been granted authorization to live and work in the United States on a permanent basis. An illegal immigrant is someone who entered the United States without inspection or were admitted temporarily and stayed past the date they were required to leave. Before coming into the U.S., immigrants have to go through a process called naturalization. Naturalization is a legal process through which a foreign citizen can become a U.S. citizen. In order to become a naturalized citizen, there are 11 requirements you must have. You must be at least 18 years old. You must have a green card. You have had to live in the U.S. lawfully as a permanent resident for at least 5 years. You must have been physically present in the U.S. during the 5 years you were there. You may not have spent more than 1 year at a time outside the U.S. You may not have established a primary home in another country, you have lived in a state or district where you are filling out your application for at least 3 months. You must have good moral character. You must be able to read, write, and speak English. You must pass a test about U.S. history and government. And you must swear you believe in the principles of the U.S. Constitution and will be loyal to the U.S. Increasing legal immigration will not decrease illegal immigration because there are so many requirements you have to meet in order to become a naturalized citizen in the United States. One of the main requirements are you must be 18 years or older to fill out an application for naturalization. Furthermore, increasing legal immigration will not decrease illegal immigration because the amount of money they would have to pay to become a legal immigrant. If you had children and babies you had to leave for at least 5 years in another country in order to become legalized, how would you feel?
Thank you. Whoa. Now, the yes team will present their first point.
Hello, hi, yes, hello. Okay. Increasing legal immigration will decrease illegal immigration based on the fact that America has a limit of only 1 million immigrants allowed US citizenship a year compared to the 6.9 million that apply every year. If we raise the cap on immigration, or perhaps remove the cap entirely, then people won't be forced into coming here illegally in order to get out of their situations. There are quite a few requirements to become an American citizen. These include having a green card for 5 or more years, being able to speak, read, and write basic English, and passing a civil test about the United States. While becoming an American citizen is hard, it's getting your immigration visa to come to the United States that proves to be the main hurdle. According to travel.state.gov and USA.gov, this process includes needing someone you know who already lives in the US to sponsor/petition for you to come over. It can be a spouse, a sibling, a parent, etc., or a business you may be coming over to work for, but does everyone always have someone who can sponsor them? I don't know someone in another country, do you? If you need to come to the United States and you didn't know anyone who already lived here, how are you supposed to even begin to try to immigrate here? It's not a completely accessible beginning to the chance at a new life. If we made it more accessible and the process easier to understand, perhaps it would help increase the number of people allowed to enter the country legally. There are tons of reasons that people are denied their visas or the chance to become an American citizen. To increase legal immigration would make people who have had their passes denied for the reason of a more restrictive immigration cap finally be able to get in. If we increase legal immigration and make the process more accessible to more people, the number of illegal immigrants is guaranteed to decrease. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Now, the no team will present their first point.
I feel that increasing legal immigration will not decrease illegal immigration for the simple fact of how old you have to be to at least be naturalized. You have to be at the least 18 years or older to be naturalized if one of your parents already isn't a U.S. citizen or has been naturalized already. The reason for you having to be 18 is because you have to need a job and you need a green card. And the jobs you need takes at the least 2 years minimum of training. And because of the U.S. history and government tests you have to take, the U.S. and government tests you have to take can be very difficult for an immigrant because as a U.S. citizen, only 2% of them can only pass it as of now. So knowing that you gotta only be 18, what does that mean for the people who aren't 18 who's trying to come here? Don't that mean parents will have to leave their kids or not have to come at all? Because most of the immigrants that are already here now, most of them are already underage minors. About 6 million children that are already here in the U.S. are at least with one parent. So if those parents were legal, dang, I messed up. My bad. I said that wrong. There are 6 million children here who are here in the U.S. with at least one illegal parent. So that parent was to go through the process of being legalized. That means their children would have to still be wherever they was just at. And most children leave where they was at because of as dangerous as those places are. So if you have to leave your kid because how dangerous it is, how bad would that make you feel? Knowing you have to leave your kids for at least 5 years, knowing they was too young to even come here because they can't get a job or have a green card. So allowing more people coming here ain't gonna change the fact, won't change their age or won't allow them the job they can get since they too young for it. Yep, that's it.
Thank you. Now the yes team will present their second point.
Tell me, if marijuana became legal in more states, would it decrease illegal smoking of marijuana? The answer to that question is yes, it would. It's the same with immigration. Increasing the legalization limit of something already makes it less illegal, does it not? If you were to increase the limit of immigration, it would cause more openings for more immigrants to be granted U.S. citizenship. An example would be desegregation in the U.S. It will make more openings for races to come together, to go to schools together, to walk in the same interests to places, and decreasing racist practices. So tell me, with these ideas being spoken, that increasing legal immigration wouldn't decrease illegal immigration? Would things have gotten better in 1964 when segregation ended if it wasn't for people opening their minds to the people who needed it and deserved it? Increasing legal immigration would be a great choice of action and a great support system that our country could use. It would support the country by supplying the country's industry with workers that were needed for the economic growth, as well as providing the chance for a new life for thousands of people. With that being said, bringing more legal immigrants into the country can bring positive benefits.
Thank you. Now, the no team will present their second point.
Really? No, I'm good. Hello. Another issue that an immigrant who is trying to become legalized has to face is the naturalization fee. You have to pay a fee of $725 just for the citizenship, and another fee of $455 every decade called the renewal fee. For those who don't know what that is, renewal fees are the fees that are paid to maintain and granted pay in force. The problem with that is immigrants don't get paid very much to pay the fee. Asking immigrants or anyone else to pay this amount is stupid and unfair. Immigrants don't have as many opportunities as others to make that much money. According to CIS.org, a large computer peripheral manufacturer, a device connected to a computer to provide communication such as input and output or auxiliary functions such as additional storage. With sales of $727 million last year and a profit of $107 million, paid some of its workers in the United States only $1.21 an hour. At least one of the workers was said to have worked 122 hours in a week. That would mean for 7 days straight, starting at a work average of 5 in the morning and ending at 10:25 at night, day after day. Immigrants are treated unfairly. They are paid so much less because of where they are from. If you got paid less because of your origin, how would you feel? Immigrants have an unfair disadvantage. The amount of money immigrants get paid should be changed. This will not decrease illegal immigration at all because they cannot pay to get legalized. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now have a 3-minute break for each team to prepare for the cross-examination part of the debate. No team will ask their questions first. Judges, please remember that the winner of the cross-examination gets 2 points. The 3-minute break begins now. First up, the no team will have 5 minutes to ask questions to the yes team about their argument. Your 5 minutes begins now.
Wait, me first? Oh. Go ahead. All right, do you know the accessibilities you have with the green card? Like what you could do with the green card?
Some of them, yes.
You know about you have to stay at least 6 months here part?
Mm-hmm.
So you can only have to stay at least 6 months here. What's stopping them from going back to wherever they were at to grab some people illegally and bring them back here?
Well, there are policies that you have to follow in order to even apply for your green card, which I'm sure you've looked up, which says that you have to be here all 6 months, and after that, in order to apply for U.S. citizenship after you get your green card. From the time that you get your green card, in order to apply, you have to be there for 5 years. So if you're going to be there, you can't leave for a long amount of time, enough to bring that many people back.
All right. I got you.
I got a question. What if you have someone to sponsor you to the United States?
Then, so if you don't have anybody to sponsor you to come to the United States, then you can, there are certain programs, there are certain people that are willing to do that legally, who are willing to sponsor you in order for you to come over here and start a better life. There are programs online, there are people that are even in those places that you can meet with, and there are representatives in different countries that you can meet with in order to find out who can sponsor you and who is willing to do that.
In your first point, you talked about weed and legalizing it wouldn't decrease, would increase.
Can you speak a little bit more clearly, please? Can you speak a little bit more clearly? You're breathing into the mic. Thank you. No,
Okay, so in your first point, you talked about weed. So legalizing, just because you legalize weed doesn't mean that it won't decrease illegal weed, because you can still, even though it's legalized, you can get it from a dispenser or someone who hands it out, but that doesn't mean that people won't stop selling it, because that's still doing it illegally.
you're right, but if you legalize it in more states, it cuts down the illegalization factor of that. So if, let's say, Michigan made it legal then everybody in Michigan who smokes, it's not illegal in Michigan, so it automatically cuts down that factor.
So how does that change the fact that people will still sell in the corner illegally? What if they don't want to go to their dispenser?
We're not saying that it would completely get rid of the illegal things and the illegal aspects. We're saying that it will drastically decrease it.
So your point is basically invalid. How can you prove that increasing legal immigration will decrease illegal immigration? What evidence do you exactly have to show that?
So, if you make something legal in more areas, it becomes less illegal in those areas, which means that it is not illegal in that place anymore, which means the illegal factor of it decreases. It doesn't completely demolish it. It doesn't completely go away. It decreases the illegalness of that situation, of that topic. Does it not?
True.
Exactly. Thank you.
She killed it.
This shit is ridiculous.
Go ahead.
30 seconds.
All right.
So I'm gonna try to go back into what I was saying earlier about the underage and stuff. So for the parents who's trying to get legalized, what if the kids is what if the kids only relied on their parents? Like that's the only person they can rely on at where they're at. And yet, while their parents got this green card trying to get legalized, they gotta stay there.
So, I don't remember the exact name for it, but there is documentation you can get for your child to come over until they are of legal age to get U.S. citizenship. There are documents that you can get for that child in order for them to be legally over here until they are 18 and legally allowed to apply for a green card.
Thank you. The 5 minutes is up. Now, the yes team will have 5 minutes to ask the no team questions about their argument. 5 minutes begins now.
So you brought up the money factor of it. What are your sources that say that Hispanic or immigrants get paid less? Like, so where did you find that immigrants get paid less, and where do they get paid less? Like, in what area of the U.S. do they get, and what areas of work do they get paid less in? Okay. Is it jobs that are already paying less, or is it jobs that are specifically going off of the fact of they usually pay minimum wage, but because they are an immigrant, they pay less? Or is it because it's low-paying jobs?
Oh, I gotta hear her situation. Okay, one, my sources came from CIS.org. It stated that basically the people who owned so the company, whatever the company was, the people who owned that company were paying the immigrants less, basically based on where they came from and stuff like that. And also you said where? Well, obviously Mexico, because Mexico, they don't have as much stuff as in, like, say Michigan.
We weren't talking about Mexico. We were talking about areas in
But you asked to where, though?
in the U.S. Where in the U.S. are they getting paid less? Also, what were people in that job, in that field, that were working in the same places as those immigrants getting paid compared to the immigrants? Do you know that? Do you know what the other people were getting paid? Or were they getting paid the same amount?
I hate her so much. No.
You don't know that?
No.
Can we just take our hand?
Also, I wanted to talk about something in your first point. I feel is not something that you use in this type of argument. This is facts. So how you feel about this topic doesn't matter. but the facts that you bring to the table in order to prove how you feel, is what matters. And
Well, this is our first debate anyway, so we
yeah. Another thing I wanted to bring up that was in your intro. In your intro, you said in order to gain a green card, you have to have, or no, in order to be naturalized, you have to have good character. What do you mean by good character? Somebody with no criminal records, or somebody who shows positive signs, or what do you mean by good character? Because good character can have a lot of different meanings depending on the person. Somebody can make a mistake 30 years ago and have something on their permanent record, but yet still have good character. So I said that somebody could have made a mistake 30 years ago, and they have something on their permanent record. And so while they have that on their permanent record, they can still have good character. So what do you mean by good character? I can't do this.
I think she was talking about the oath you have to make in order to come here.
But anybody
What's the oath?
can,
What's the oath? What's the oath?
talking about that oath, anybody can fake that oath. You can say it with the most lifeless face, and as long as you say that oath with your heart on, or your hand on your heart, you're there. So that doesn't show anything about good character. Aye, aye, Captain.
Bro, pack some heat.
All right, so I'm gonna say probably like what you said earlier, like no criminal record, like, cause even if you made a mistake, like you knew what you were doing at the time, so like that's not a good character, and you shouldn't be able to be allowed to do certain things because of what you did in the past.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the 5 minutes is up. Woo. We will now have a 3-minute break for each team to prepare for the debate conclusion. The yes team will present their conclusion first. The 3-minute break begins now. The yes team will now present their conclusion.
Okay. Increasing legal immigration will decrease illegal immigration. As our first point stated, there are many facts and statistics to support that increasing legal immigration will decrease illegal immigration. We mentioned how America has a limit of only 1 million immigrants allowed U.S. citizenship a year compared to the 6.9 million that apply each year. There is still an astounding 12.5 million illegal immigrants in the United States. If the number of immigrants accepted was raised, the number of immigrants denied and coming into the U.S. illegally would be decreased. That means less immigrants would be illegal. Not a lot of illegal immigrants are accepted to be legal as a U.S. citizen. The requirements are tedious, and there are many things the U.S. require to become legal, including having a green card for 5 or more years. Some of the people who are said to be illegal immigrants are not illegal, but are here for work or family events that are being held in America. They are called non-immigrants. If immigration was not increased legally, it's inevitable that more immigrants would come into the United States illegally. Okay.
Thank you. Now, the no team will present their conclusion.
As of now, there's an average of 1 million estimated immigrants being legalized a year. This is because of heavy traffic, soil erosion, overcrowded schools, energy and water shortages, and a tax increase. So how would increasing that number reduce illegal population? The fact is that it won't. Even with the process of naturalization being increased, there will still be a cost, green card, visa, and an age requirement, and a test. All these things you have to do just to become a legal immigrant. And once you are a legal immigrant, you are forced to work and pay ridiculously low prices an hour. The fact that you have to be 18 years of age unless you have a parent already living in the U.S. is also absurd and not fair for the children who are too young to even get a job. The purpose of this debate is not just to show the steps and requirements needed to become a legal immigrant, but to show you how difficult it is and what immigrants go through just to become a U.S. citizen. Increasing legal immigration will not raise the amount they are paid, nor lower the fees, and they won't allow children to get a bachelor's degree. Now I'll leave you with a question to think about. Would you do all these things just to become a legal immigrant?
Thank you. This ends our debate. Please give both teams a round of applause for working hard to prepare for today's debate. Now, we will give our judges a couple of minutes to complete their scoring to determine our winner. The scores are in. Before I announce the winner, just please give them a round of applause one more time for working hard. And the winner of today's debate, and I won't mess it up this time, I got you. The Yes team wins.